Cheers, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. I do these, try to do them every Saturday, somewhere in the afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Eastern time, somewhere around there. So it's always good to be doing this. I always look forward to it, enjoy touching base with my viewers and, talking about this, talking about that, talking about Beatles, talking about Dungeon Lane, the boys of Dungeon Lane. Seems to be shorthand these days. A lot of people just say Dungeon Lane. Lots of stuff to talk about in the Beatles world. It's not limited to just the Beatles world necessarily. You can talk about other things as well. And I see we've already got people joining us. I'm also on a fishing expedition. Now, some of you may have heard me saying in recent live streams, I'm kind of fishing. I'm not going to tell you what that's about, but I got my pole in the water, casting the reel, and the bait is there. I'm just waiting to catch a fish. That's all. You don't know what I mean by that. Nobody knows what I mean. I've been very cryptic about that, but I'll explain, as time goes on. You'll know what I mean. So let's start with, this is a comment from Dr. Rick that was left, quite some time this morning. Wow, almost 8 hours ago, 7 hours ago. Look forward to your stream. Thank you, Rick. Hopefully you're watching. And Mike, hello, Mike, one of my regulars, and also Ramoga. What's cooking with you? Oh, Harold liked my record store video. That's strange because, the record store video that's up right now, the record store reality video, that video is doing rather poorly. It doesn't surprise me, really. I think what happens is that cases like that is I've recently gained a lot of new subscribers, probably people who are interested in the Paul McCartney album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane. So because of that, you get a lot of new subscribers, and they're keen to see your content, and they think they're going to keep getting more of the same, which they will, which you will if you're listening. But what happens is, you put other stuff up there not related to Paul McCartney, and all of a sudden they're like, "What? What's this?" And that's sometimes what happens when you get new subscribers. So, hi, Joseph Mantaneo, what's going on? Have a good time fishing. I hope I catch a big barracuda. No, but as I'm being very, very quiet about it. I'm being very, just having a little riddle. Let's make it a riddle. Okay, we have Simon from England. Thank you. This is a good time to do this. I think, weekends at this time, very good time to do this because, people will come here from some other countries. And if you do it like 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern time, you can get people in England. You can get people on the West Coast. You can't please everybody, but I think you're fishing for an interview with Paul. Well, if Paul McCartney shows up in this live stream, you'll know I caught my fish. You'll know. Hello to Penny Lane. What's going on, Penny Lane? Barracuda, good song. Very good song. Great song by Hart. Yeah. I like Hart. Ann Wilson, Nancy Wilson, the Wilson sisters. So what's going on, everybody? What's the good word? We have a beautiful afternoon here. 85 degrees, it says here on my computer. When I was outside in my car about 45 minutes ago, it was 88 degrees. Bring it on. Bring it on. I love it. It's my favorite time of year. We have been very blessed so far with June. After a lousy April and a lousy May, the weather in June, the first 13 days, today's June 13th, the first 13 days or so, for the most part, not every day, but for the most part, have been pretty sunny and warm, and that's how I like it. Give me the sunshine, give me the warmth, give me the heat, and I'm happy. That's how it goes for me. Yeah, Paul and Joe Mayo equals Jimmy Fallon. Eat your heart out. Yeah, one of these days, Uncle Paul will be interviewed by me. Surprised Paul has not been on with Jimmy Fallon yet. I would think if he hasn't, has he? He hasn't been? Thought he was. Well, if he wasn't, I think maybe it's kind of late. I mean, they kind of missed the party, maybe. Possibly. So what's on everybody's so-called minds? What's going on here today? Kind of short on comments this afternoon. It's a beautiful day, at least where I am. You know, getting into like summery weather. It's not officially the summer yet, but my favorite months are June, July, and August, and September. As I always say, I'll take April Fool's Day, April 1st through about November 1st to Halloween. April 1st to Halloween. April Fool's Day to Halloween Day. My favorite days. Maybe while I'm waiting for some comments to come, I'll share some things I actually bought. A couple of things, and you may be surprised at one of these. Okay, now, I always have to say this all the time because you're going to get some idiot out there. You know, I bought vinyl. I don't buy a lot of vinyl, at least non-Beatles vinyl. I don't buy, you know, I told you I'm not doing that. I'm purging a lot. I had this record in my hand 4 times, and I put it back over a period of time in my record store. I wanted to buy this album I'm going to show you. And 4 times I resisted it. Okay, it's Herman's Hermits, their greatest hits. It's not an old album. It's a newer one, you know, 180 gram clear vinyl. Now, as you see with the Paul McCartney vinyl that's out here, before I show you this clear vinyl, let me tell you, as you know, I don't know how many variants are out from the McCartney Boys of Dungeon Lane, but I only bought 3 out of like 15, between 15 and 20. There are new ones all the time coming out. And I did not go for it, but I was looking at this and I had to have it. Okay. See where I'm going with this already? This is because I love Herman's Hermits. I absolutely love Herman's Hermits. And I see you. You see me? There it is. Fantastic album, fantastic songs by these guys. And I was like, damn it. As I say, you know, I have a show called Collectors Anonymous. The reason I call it Collectors Anonymous is because, give me a second here. I call it Collectors Anonymous because, you know, it's like almost like Alcoholics Anonymous. If you collect, if you have a collecting in your blood to a degree, you're always going to want to buy things, but how much are you going to purge and how much are you going to control? I've controlled a lot. I have hardly bought anything like compared to what I used to. But there, as you just saw, I just bought the Boys. That's the Boys of Dungeon Lane. I just bought Herman's Hermits on clear vinyl, greatest hits. And I'm very happy with that. You know, but it took me 4 times before I finally did it. 4 different visits to the store before I did it. $8. It only costs $8. It's not so much a matter of the money, although the money does factor into this a little bit as you get older and you're retired. But it's mostly because of the space and why clutter so much more with stuff you're not going to pay much time to or attention to. But anyway, I said very clearly, and I continue to say that I will occasionally be buying things and records. In fact, I'm probably going to have another vinyl finds video coming up soon with vinyl that I've had for quite some time, for weeks and weeks or months, and I haven't shown yet because I've never had enough. Okay, I went for a walk and have been listening to the Boys at Dungeon Lane. I don't know how many times I've played it by now, at least 20 times, at least 20. I love the album. It's a fine new Paul album, and I'll be making more live streams and videos probably discussing the album a little more, including this one. If you want to talk about the Boys of Dungeon Lane, you can do it right here. But I think, you know, I don't play it every day now. I'm kind of like overplaying it every day. Okay, what are my thoughts on Idle Hands on Svengoolie? I've never seen it. And, you know, Svengoolie, they're trying to put in newer movies. You know, I'm a fan of the older movies. And when they put newer movies in, they use that squad. Gwen Gooley is a cutie. Gwen Gooley, they put Nostalgia Ferratu in there, and that, but I don't like them as much as Sven Gooley. That's a great album, Herman's Hermits. Yes, it is, and you have it on CD. Brandon, what's going on? Watching from Sydney, Australia. Currently 6:07 a.m. Sunday morning. See, that's how it is, right? Australia doesn't necessarily work out pretty well here. Maybe that's why 5 p.m. is even the better time. Because if I started at 5 p.m. Eastern time, it would be at least 7 a.m. there. 5 p.m. might be the best time of all. Penny Lane says, I love the clear vinyl. So do I. It is, I had to have it. Let's put it that way. And as for the Paul McCartney Boys of Dungeon Lane, I've seen a lot of copies. Thanks to everybody out there making videos and live streams showing your copies, what you got of the Boys of Dungeon Lane. I really appreciate that because I get to see ones that I'm not going to get. However, there is one that I've seen a few times that you have out there, some of you, and I do want it. And I passed it up, and it's the blue splatter vinyl, the blue splatter Boys of Dungeon Lane vinyl. It sounds sounds a little nasty, doesn't it? But anyway, that's the one that I think that one's a nice looking vinyl. So I kind of want that, but I'm not going to be getting it now because now it costs a pretty penny. It's all sold out, and now people are jacking up the price. Look at these terms I'm using. Wow. Okay. Hello, Gary. I appreciate you being here. I know you can't always make the live streams, but when you can, I really appreciate it. Okay. Paul McCartney did a special event at the Roundhouse in London on Wednesday. It sold out less than 10 minutes. Beatly Tone went. I couldn't get a ticket. Apparently, it was very good. Yeah, I heard Beatly Tone talking about it, and congratulations to Tony. Much appreciated for him sharing the details about it. He shared some new information, that we didn't know, such as the women who sing on the song "Home to Us." We have Chrissy Hine. What's the other person's name? Is it Charlene Spiteri? I forget who the third person was. Somebody well known. 3 women. Well, on that particular song, "Home to Us," it's only the 2, right? Chrissy Hine and Charlene Spiteri. But I heard there's a third woman singing, I think, and I can't remember who it was, that was revealed. And Paul had said, and Beatly Tone covered this, in his video, that they're on other tracks. These 3 women, I think, sing on other tracks. Those are going to be ones that we're hopefully, going to get either on bonus cuts. Lulu, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Lulu. How could I forget a Lulu? Yeah, we're either going to get them on maybe, there's nothing said yet. I'm guessing we'll get them on bonus tracks or maybe another album. The songs will be used from Paul. Who knows? Day Tripper, what's going on? It took a few listens, and the new McCartney is really good. As a huge Hermits fan, so glad you picked that up. Me too. Me too. I'm just very happy and pleased with myself, to tell you the truth, that I just am holding off on so much stuff. For everything you see me buy, believe me when I tell you, there's like between 5 or 10 items I passed on, that or more, Do you think Wings would have been taken more seriously if Linda weren't in the band? It's harsh, but I kind of think she illegitimizes it. Well, I think Linda was a wonderful ingredient. I think Linda was perfect and offered a lot to the unique kind of sound that was Wings. And there are some people out there that might have took Wings a little more seriously. There's some people out there that would have thought they were more legitimate, if you will. I'm not one of them. I think Linda was great in there. Although it was some tough sledding, because if you listen to the first Wings rehearsals film that's out there, she's pretty rough, man. She's pretty bad. She's just finding her way, She's singing Seaside Woman, and she's doing harmonies on the song The Mess, and it's pretty bad, but to me, she got better, I think. Yeah, I was about to ask, do you think we will get a deluxe version with bonus tracks? Well, there's no way to know, Joseph, right? I still don't know what I want. Because some people want bonus tracks, and some people would rather he hold off on the bonus tracks and use them for a whole nother album to follow a year or two after Boys of Dungeon Lane. Well, I'm of the opinion that this new album from Paul is so good that I kind of wish that it would be, his swan song. It's a perfect way to end a career, solo career, But we'll see. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I try to do, Brandon. Thank you. Hello, Sal. Sal says, I like the Pipes of Peace album. Surprised Paul has never done any of those songs live that I can recall. Now you got me thinking about the entire album content. Somebody help us out here. It's been flashing them by in my mind, but I don't remember most of those songs, any of those songs being done, really. I'm thinking about them all now. So, hello, Christian. Thank you for joining us. No sugarcoating, no overly hyping stuff. It's great. Well, some people think that I sugarcoat maybe. Some people think that I'm overhyping, Some people think I'm overhyping the new Paul album, which is right over there. Right there. I'm not overhyping it. I'm not overhyping it at all. Not overhyping. Buy this excellent album. It's an excellent album. Buy it. Buy it. It's a great album. It's one of the best albums Paul's ever done. Buy it. I want to show you something else. I'm kind of waiting for Robert P. maybe to join me because I got something in the mail today from Robert P. Robert P., as you know, is a great guy who helps a lot of people out. Is very generous, very generous. He gifts people a lot of items, and he gifted me this item that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, I'm going to take it out of the plastic sleeve. It is a colorized version of a 45-foot picture sleeve for Leave My Kitten Alone, for a picture sleeve that never came to be. It never came to be. Now, we've seen, I don't know if they were original sleeves or mock-up sleeves, this picture in black and white in 1984 or 85 even, 84 or 85. They were going to release Leave My Kitten Alone as a new Beatles single, and this picture, the sleeve we always saw was in black and white. Now, there's no record in here or anything. It's just an empty, just a sleeve that Robert P., I believe, created. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it doesn't do it justice here with the lighting, but that's a nice color photo. And on the B side, it looks like that. You have the Beatles smiling on the second side, and you have them looking serious on the front side. And the second one says Obla de Obla Da alternate version. And you notice it says taken from the forthcoming album Sessions, because it was going to be released as part of a new Beatles album, the Sessions album. And much appreciation to Robert for bestowing me with this gift. So thank you, RP. I like to call him RP. If he pops up here again, I will show this again. Okay, back to Dungeon Lane. I feel this album is Paul's opus. I listened to Double Fantasy stripped down a couple of days ago. I guess we'll have to wait until 2030 for the 50th anniversary Ultimate Mixes. How many original fans from 80 will still be alive? Well, I hope I will. There you go. DJ Trish, hello. You see, Day Tripper says Robert P. He has helped me out a lot. He's helped me out a lot too. Believe me, I'm not just saying that to bounce off from what you're saying, Day Tripper. I mean, he really has helped me, and I appreciate him for that. And I hope he sees this because he's not here now to hear it. But James Farley, hello. There it is. Yeah, this is a John Lennon shirt that I'm wearing here. John Lennon. You just see the top. You can't really see much here. And this is a shirt I've worn before. I mean, so I just have shirts that I do for live streams and videos. And I kind of rewear them a lot. Try to put them in the cycle. So, all right. Okay, Trish says, I notice your record store has blank tapes. Are they for sale? Yeah, they're for sale. Yeah, they have blank tapes. Don't know how good they are. They must be kind of old. Cassette tapes, you mean, right? Sorry, I'm just waiting for more comments. Waiting for more comments. There's one from Mark. Okay, Bob Dylan played I Shall Be Released live a few days ago for the first time in 18 years in Oregon. Very good. Bob Dylan, of course, last month turned 85. Wow. Yelly Man, what's going on? Yes, John Lennon's favorite animal were cats. Do you have the same love for cats as John does? Yes, I do. I've said that, kind of said that at times. I do like cats. I kind of prefer cats to dogs. But as I often say, I'm a sucker for a well-behaved dog or puppy. Uh, oh yeah, DJ Trish, that's no problem. In fact, I'll even send some as a gift for you. I just have to remember, but because you've been nice over the years, of course, you sent me some Vinyl Community Love Train VCLT. So if you want, it'll be on me. I'll send you a few. Don't send me anything. Just I just have to. I had your address. I wonder if I still do. Don't put your address here. Don't put your address here. I just have to. There it is. I have it right there in New Jersey. Okay, I have your address here. So I will do that. The only thing is, I want to know exactly what tapes you want. I don't want to send you the wrong tapes, the cassette tapes, right? And just tell me what they are. It's funny. When I was getting cleaned up and getting ready to come on here, and as I'm getting cleaned up, I thought to myself, well, I wonder what my favorite Herman's Hermit song is. There are two that are my favorite. One of them is there's three of them that's my very favorite. One of them is I'm Into Something Good. Second one is Can't You Hear My Heartbeat, and the third one is A Must to Avoid. I think A Must to Avoid might be my favorite Herman's Hermit song right now. Did Danny buy Dungeon Lane because you recommended it, or was he seriously interested? Well, he listened to some of the tracks on YouTube, I guess, and he liked them. So he decided he wanted to get it. Of course, he kept putting it off and saying he was going to get it. And then finally, his wife, Robin, bought him for him. Gene Shalit? Man, I didn't know. I remember Gene Shalit, the movie critic, but I didn't even know he was still with us, honestly. Okay. Just let me know which ones you want, DJ Trish. Oh, here you go. TDK. TDK was the one I always used. Okay. TDK 90-minute cassettes. All right, Trish, just next time I go there, because I was actually there today. I don't know when I'll be back there, but even if it takes a week or two, just hang in there. I think zoetropes are a big disappointment. I have a few of the Harrison releases. Having to use your phone to see the effects sucks. Yeah, I'm not a fan of zoetrope discs. I'm not. I mean, I would never buy them. If anybody sent them to me as a gift, I would accept it. I don't mean anybody out there. I mean, the Lennon Estate sent me a zoetrope disc or two, and I just don't feel like buying them. Okay, Gene Shalit was 100. All righty. Wow. Yeah, I thought he was kind of up there. Good for him. No, I'm not the best, DJ Trish. You are the best. You got to remember, I say this all the time. I've been here 14 years. And when I started, DJ Trish was so nice to me. And we know she's one of the sweetest, nicest people in all of the YouTube community. the VC, as we used to call it, the vinyl community, and the C. Don't forget the CD community, because she likes CDs. Trish likes CDs, and so many years she sent me her mix CDs, which I treasure as gifts. Holiday and summer, she used to send me mix discs, and I always said, I have to return that favor somehow, and now this is the perfect opportunity. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, James. Yes, indeed. So thank you, Trish, for the past, and this is my little way of giving something back. All right. I hope I just got to do it. That's all. All right. Okay, folks. Do we have any more talks about the Paul McCartney album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane? Maybe I should have put it in the heading. Oh, take it easy, Trish. Take it easy. I know some people, they don't like that. They blush. Yeah. I do not care for the Beatles' Love album. I don't like taking songs and mishmashing up and screwing around with them like that. And I never listen to it. Never. I mean, I like some stuff they did on there, though. I mean, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, the slow version with the George Martin score is nice, and there's some other outtakes on there. But the mishmashes, I don't know what they call them, the mashups. Not too wild about them. However, I always say that I enjoy the idea of it as a soundtrack, because the Love album is really the soundtrack to the Cirque du Soleil show. So really, when you look at it that way, it's a soundtrack. But I just never play it. Why don't you talk about the Ringo album? You mean the new Ringo album, Long, Long Road? Well, I did. But the thing is, it petered out fast. That's why I said from the beginning that although I like the new Ringo album, Long, Long Road, I prefer, by a good margin, last year's Look Up. And it seemed to me that Look Up had more legs and more staying power than the new album. Feeling good right now, James. I have moments where not as good, but just hang in there. Yeah, doing good right now. Do 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 do. Well, I showed you the things I had to show you, so that's not anything I can stall with. I'm trying to stall for time or fill out time here. I guess a lot of people are out and about, even though we got over 60 people watching right now. Whenever the Double Fantasy Ultimate Mixes are released, with AI, they should be able to create a timeless masterpiece from the original cassette. Well, I want to watch, I don't mind AI to a degree when it comes to remixing old albums, but be careful, don't go overboard, that's all. They played Carnival of Souls on YouTube a couple days ago. It's funny because Carnival of Souls is a classic horror movie, and it's just never been a favorite of mine. I do think it's got a lot of atmosphere and creepiness to it, but just never been a favorite of mine. Okay, I was disappointed that John's estate kept "Woman Is the End of the World" from the live record that was released last year. What is your thoughts on that? Well, it's a good question, Yelly Man. I had a lot to say about it back at the time. I understand why they did it. I mean, I've spoken to Simon, the representative, and in person. I've talked to Sean in person. We talked about it. I understand the dilemma they're under these days. It is a world today where you have to watch everything you say. But I still say it's unfortunate to me that they didn't try at least to put it out with an explanation or a disclaimer to try to put it in its historical context. That's what I wish they would have done. But I'll be honest with you, with the climate the way it is in the world today, a lot of people would not understand or accept it. People are very much knee jerk. They hear a word, and the word bothers them, even though perhaps the word is being used elsewhere. But they just didn't want John Lennon to be a victim of that kind of thing, and that it's a very awkward situation. And if I were in their shoes, I wouldn't know what the hell to do either. But I am disappointed. I'm disappointed. I understand why they felt they had to do it, but I am disappointed. And I really wish that they had somehow taken a chance with it. But I do want, you see, I understand, but I'm saying, but, so it's easy for me to say. Hello, how are you in the process of cutting your Beatles and solo vinyl collection down to one copy of each album? In some cases, yes. In some cases, I'm down to like one. Some cases, I'll be down from like 6 to 2. So, I'm trying to like cut a lot of it out, but I've only done them in little spurts. Like I haven't taken the full plunge and done it, all a ton at the same time. Let's put it that way. And I know everybody out there probably wants some, but it's tough to do because, I don't like doing things by mail. I don't like doing it with strangers, it would be better if it's people that I know, say people who go to my record store and we could meet at the record store and we'll do it at the record store, I got a few different varieties of the Boys of Dungeon Lane cassette CDs and 5 different LPs. Hey, look, I been there, done that. I think I wouldn't even mind having the cassette now. For a while, I wasn't going to do the cassette either, but I got the cassette of Egypt Station. I got the cassette of McCartney 3. I got all the Ringo cassettes of his albums and EPs. So, is the Harrison Estate ever going to come out with Let It Roll Volume 2? I don't think so, but you never know. The Claypool Lennon Delirium is a good CD. I hear that. That's the case. Very Beatlesque. John would be proud. I'd like to give that a listen. I know some people have talked about it already. I think Robert S. did. I think Larry Graves did. That song is one of the best songs Lennon ever did. I'm kind of lost here which song that was now. I think Grow Old With Me is a lost gem. A finished version would have been a better ending to Double Fantasy than Hard Times Are Over. It's a shame John chose to save it for Milk and Honey. Yeah, I guess you're right. However, I do love the song Hard Times Are Over. And it's funny, but I'm kind of like a little bit masochistic about it in a way because I like Hard Times Are Over because it's so untrue. It's like it was meant in good spirit that for John and Yoko, after all the bullshit, hard times can be over for a while, and then they were not because John was taken from us, and sadly hard times were not over. But somehow when I listen to the song, that makes it all the more bitter sweet. You know what I mean? I have not seen the new Spielberg film. No, it depends. I mean, excuse me, I don't remember. I think I saw the trailer for it. I don't think I was interested in the topic, if I remember. Don't think I'll ever cut down Beatles to one copy of each album. I'll always have at least 2. There you go. Oh, now I know what song we're talking about. I believe that I was saying what song. Sorry, James. Of course, Woman is the Bleep of the World. It is one of the best songs Lennon ever did. And it's a song that pays tribute to women and sticks up for women. And, it says a lot of good things about women to treat them right and everything. That's what the song is about. And to not stand for it when she's treated badly. And the word that he uses in that song, that controversial word, is in no means trying to be demeaning to the other group either. It's not the point of it. Maybe Sean should have watched the Dick Cavett show, right, where John played that song with an explanation. Well, the problem is, I'm sure he knows about that. I'm sure he knows fully well of it. But the problem is, and I'm going to come out and say, there are idiots out there that are triggered by things like that, and because they don't understand, even with the explanation, they don't care. Hello, Robbie. Good afternoon to you. Do you have you got, or are you interested in any Beatles albums signed by them? Well, you can't see it up here, but I have up here. I have a Ringo album, "Stop and Smell the Roses," signed by Ringo, and it's authentic, and it's got a certificate of authenticity. I didn't get it in person. This album, "Stop and Smell the Roses," up here, was signed by Ringo, and I bought it off eBay in around the year 2000, 2001, around there. And there you go. I saw a video from Stud Muffin today about the possibility of the archive set for Back to the Egg 2027. He read from an interview that Steve Holley gave. This is the second time I've heard about this. Yeah, apparently, yeah, yes. Are you the one who told me, Joseph? Someone said that they spoke to Steve Holley, and Steve Holley said it's coming next year, 2027. Now, I talked to Steve Holley. People who don't know, Steve Holley is the drummer, one of the drummers for Wings. He was on Back to the Egg, and he played on some London Town and all that, right? I believe. And when I talked to him, I don't know what year it was that I talked to him. It might have been 2023. 2020, I think so. And I asked Steve Holley about what's going on with the archives of Back to the Egg back in 2023, and he didn't even know about it. So I don't know. Now we're hearing that he says next year. So I think that's a good sign. I'm still hopeful. I'm still optimistic that we are going to get Back to the Egg in London Town on the archives edition. I believe it. And I'm not optimistic about a lot of things. You know, I keep it real, and you know, that's how I feel. Alan, hello. Alan just received a second and last copy of The Boys of Dungeon Lane, the white label one with the plain cover, through Paul's site. I heard it's the best sounding one on vinyl. I know Alan C. Records has at least one video up to part 1. Did you ever put up part 2? I didn't notice yet. Where you talked about your feelings on the album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane, and I'm curious to hear the whole thing. I think if we're talking about The Boys of Dungeon Lane, I think he's kidding around here if he's talking about that album. Hard Times Are Over was a song Yoko recorded earlier in the 70s. They recorded it as a John and Yoko, or they re-recorded it as a John and Yoko duet for Double Fantasy. Oh, thank you, Gary. Hello, Stuart and Duffy. Going good. I spoke to Steve back at the Beatle Fest. Both Steve and Lawrence Juba were talking about it back then. Yeah, that's probably the one, the Beatle Fest that I met you at, right? 2024 maybe. But I know I talked to him earlier, and they didn't know anything about it. So the only thing I'm saying is the fact that now they do say something kind of specific about it coming out. The fact that they do now is a good thing. Oh, Spielberg's new movie. You see what I mean? It's getting really bad reviews so far. Mr. Bloodvessel's talking about Spielberg's new movie. Yeah, I'm not interested. And yes, part 2 has been up. Thanks for letting people know. Alan C. Records, my friend, a hell of a nice guy. You know, he's the guy that helped me get the Egypt Station promo display. You know, from back in 2018 or so. I have it right up there at a site. You can't see it. It's my favorite Lennon song to do a karaoke. Okay, that's Peter. I gave Infidels a try. Good songwriting as always, but not into the 80s production. Now, is this who I think it is? Because this is a different name. Are you who I think you are? And did you send me a message? I was afraid you wouldn't like the 80s production. I love the album. You know that. If you know, you're who I think you are. Anyway, and I just love it. I remember the first time because you know, when I first listened to Infidels by Bob Dylan, it was 1983. I was 21. And I had a friend, and we took the album to his house, and we sat in his basement, his mother's house, and they had one of those old stereo consoles, the big long stereo console, and we played the record. Now, before that, we had heard all these religious albums. I mean, nothing against it. Dylan was doing stuff like Shot of Love, which was, Christian music. I like just a lot of stuff on Shot of Love. And I love Slow Train Coming. Slow Train Coming is one of my all-time favorite albums. And he also did the album Saved, which was also a religious album. And now we thought Infidels after that was him getting back to basics. We kind of just felt Dylan was back being Dylan more, And I just love just about every song on it. Yes, 2024. The most I remember from them talking about it is that they said they were interviewed for it. Okay, good. Re-listen to Egypt Station. It still holds up. Good album. I'm glad you feel that way. I don't. Egypt Station to me has a handful of songs I like on it, and it has not held up for me. I played it not too long ago, but I think it goes downhill as it goes on. Did you see the different production of the track Down South by Jonathan D. Renzo? I did not. I have not. I did not have not. Hello, Walkman. What's doing? What's up, folks? What's on your minds? Let's hear about it. Talk about Dungeon Lane, Paul's new album. Talk about Dylan's Infidels album. Talk about whatever you want, movies, whatever. We're here. Well, I say when I say whatever you want, no politics, nothing like that. Okay, I have one question about Paul. For the last 2 years, every time I see him, he's sporting 3 or 4 days of facial hair. What's up with that? Only adds to his age. I agree. I used to say that Paul should do some facial hair or something different because he always looks so clean and the same old squeaky clean Paulie. I like when he grew a beard and looked different for the Get Back sessions. However, he does look too scraggly and like an old kind of like a bum. He looks like a bum with his scraggly white. But meanwhile, I got some scraggly here, but it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. I hope. I probably passed you several times over the years at the Beatle Fest Meadowlands. Yeah. I used to go every Saturday and Sunday, every year, starting in '96. Yeah. Although there were years when I didn't go. It's a funny thing. In those years, '96, I don't think I was going in too many of those years, but I did. I like the album New. I fixed that to help people. I like the album New a lot more now than I like Egypt Station. McCartney 3 is still enjoyable, but I don't listen to it a lot. Maybe that's why. I just don't think McCartney 3 has held up that well. I liked it when it first came out. I don't think it holds up as great. Egypt Station, I don't think it holds up as great. I do like the album New. I think that album, it still works for me, New. Do you still hate Paul's version and ain't that a shame? The bit must be the best thing Paul has ever done on record. No, I hate that. I hate that part. Yeah, I hate that part. Ah, there it is. There it is. I haven't seen Bazooka Joe or Don in some time. As far as I know, they're both doing okay. Boys of Dungeon Lane has grown on me a lot. There's no boring or embarrassing songs on it. There you go. Exactly. I concur. New York Knicks champions tonight. For those people who love basketball, I hope so. For those fans out there, I couldn't care less personally. Blood on the Tracks is my favorite Dylan album. That's considered one of the classics, one of the best. I still have yet to really drink it in its entirety. I know some songs from it. but I still have to really. And I'm ashamed that I haven't really listened to that. A Wings book by Ted Widmer is only $20 in case you needed it. Regularly $46. Like you see, when I say that I'm not buying everything anymore, that's one of the things I didn't buy. I've got too many books up there that I'm not interested in anymore, or maybe never was. It depends. Some books I'm definitely going to keep anyway, and I don't know yet. I don't know, but thank you for letting me know about the price reduction. I saw the new Masters of the Universe movie. It was very good, a lot better than I thought it would be. I want to see it again. Thank you for that. Is new better than Dungeon Lane? I haven't decided that yet. I haven't decided. See, what's interesting is sometimes you come up with situations where you have an album where you like the album Boys of Dungeon Lane, where every song on the album you like. They're all good. But then another album like New, you might not like one or two songs off it, but all the other ones are really better. Some of them are better than other albums. So you have trouble. You know what I mean? I keep using Band on the Run as an example. Band on the Run is considered a classic Paul McCartney album, maybe his best or one of his very best, right? It's got classics on there. It's got Band on the Run. It's got Jet. It's got 1985 on it. You know what I mean? It's got Let Me Roll It on there. But then again, it's got stuff on there like, which I don't really care that much for, No Words. It's got Picasso's Last Words. I don't care for either of those. I'm okay with Mamunia. I don't hate it like everybody else, but Mamunia is not the greatest song, though. I like it enough. But you see what I mean? But the other songs on it, Helen Wheels on the American version. Helen Wheels, Mrs. Vanderbilt. These are good songs, really good songs, but the whole album isn't consistent, whereas Boys of Dungeon Lane is more consistent, but perhaps the highs are not as high, and there's no classics on Boys of Dungeon Lane, other than possibly future classics being The Days We Left Behind, for me, maybe even Mama Gets By. But, it's uneven, so I don't know. I thought Egypt Station artwork by Paul was one of his best covers. A lot of people say it was taken from George's Gone Troppo. I don't believe that. I would be willing to bet Paul never laid eyes on George's Gone Troppo album cover in his life. Do you think that Paul will include some of the songs from the new album on the set list for the next tour? I would think that he would. And I would think especially because it's been so well accepted. The album the new album is like really praised almost by everybody. So I would think so. I could see him doing The Days We Left Behind live. And I could also see him maybe doing Come Inside live. It's good to see McCartney not using AI for his voice. Let's hope it's a lesson for the majority of artists not to use it. If you mean live or you mean on the record, because on the record, I think they did something in some places, but it's not, it's not over the top. It's perfectly the amount. If anything was used to help his voice, and I believe that there was something, in some places it worked perfectly. Other places you hear his voice more raw. So it works both ways, man. If there were no Paul archives this year, then we'll probably get the Wings at the Speed of Sound half-speed master with OBI by the end of the year. Could be. Flaming Pie is underrated. It's my third favorite after McCartney and Ram. Well, I got to tell you, Ramolga, Flaming Pie is very highly rated. I think it's one of his best albums of all. And usually most people do. So there's really not many people who rate it low. I think McCartney 3 is a perfect COVID era album. If it was released in 2026, it wouldn't hold up like Dungeon Lane. Yeah, I think McCartney 3, that's a good way of putting it, was the right album at the right time. It feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like a lockdown or rock down type of album. First Star of the Night is such a lovely song from an old Paul. It is. It's not one of my favorite songs. I know some people that said it was their number one favorite song on the new album. I like First Star of the Night, but I personally don't have it anywhere near the top. Okay, hello Billy. Apple have been very quiet this year. Any ideas about Beatles box sets or re-releases? I'm still thinking they're going to give us Rubber Soul. I don't know whether they're going to start like hinting at things soon, and maybe we're going to get a fall release. Maybe November, December. Who knows? Maybe, but I haven't heard anything yet. Okay, I saw him play one line of "Life Can Be Hard" live last week. Yes, his voice cracked a bit. Yes, well, yeah, I'm not going to get into that again. Yes, it does. But I've come to the point more and more and more where I'm very highly accepting of his voice the way it is now. I have not listened to the 2 new Rolling Stones songs yet. I think I'm going to wait for the album. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Wait for the album. I found myself comparing Dungeon Lane to Flaming Pie as a complete album, where I like almost every song on each. Very cool. I've always loved Flaming Pie, one of his best, and I also think Rubber Soul is set for this fall. Well, of course, they haven't said anything about it yet, but I can't see how they can let that go. I tell you. And of course, there are rumors that have been going on about Rubber Soul, where some people say, "Oh, I'll bet you they're not going to release it because they're going to cancel it because of the song Run for Your Life." And I always laugh at that. And I say, I know that people get their panties in a bunch over a song and a fake character singing in a fake, just a song that doesn't mean anything. And by the way, keep in mind that the line, "I'd rather see your dead little girl than to be with another man," was borrowed, shall we say, by John from Elvis Presley's song from the 50s, "Baby, Let's Play House." That's from Elvis' song, the 50s, that line. John didn't write it. In case you didn't know that. But anyway, and people have been saying, "Oh, I bet you that's why there's a delay." And I laugh. Ha ha ha. Come on, don't be silly. You know something? I'm beginning to wonder now. What I'm saying is if it takes much, much longer to get Rubber Soul, you're going to have me thinking that, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not surprised by anything in this ridiculous world we live in. Okay, The Boys of Dungeon Lane is now number 4. Now my 4th favorite McCartney album. Number 1 is Chaos and Creation. Number 2 is Flaming Pie. 3 is Band on the Run. Number 5 being Venus and Mars. Well done. Thank you for sharing that. A Black Chub Bear. Again, just an opinion, but the reason some of us are iffy about Paul's current voice is because his younger voice became such an iconic sound. It makes me cherish his older albums more. Well, you gotta, I'm not going to try to force anybody to listen my way. But what I'm going to suggest, just as a little help, if it works for you, try to imagine you have a grandfather. I don't know if you had a grandfather or have a grandfather. And, you knew your grandfather when he was like in his 40s or 50s and 60s. He starts getting old. After a while, you still love your grandpa, right? But after a while, he's slower. Maybe he walks with a cane. Maybe you got to take his arm and help him to get into his car. Maybe he can't drive anymore. Maybe you have to, as he gets to be an old man, you have to drive grandpa to do his chores. Maybe he's got to go to the bank. You have to drive his car to the bank or go to the bank for him. But you still accept him and love him. That's how your that's your grandpa now. That's a photograph of your grandpa now. So what I look at with Paul's voice now is I look at it now as this is Paul at the age, he's going to be 84 in 5 days. He's 83 now. He'll be 84 in 5 days. And I accept this is Paul singing how he sings now, and he's reflecting on his life from the perspective of a man that's a little more frail, not as, youthful in the face, right? His hair's changed, the whole thing. His voice is now a little raspy, but he's projecting who he is today on Songs for Us, and specifically singing about songs from yesterday. So that's why when an older man an old man sings a song about his youth, he's going to sound old. I'm remembering my old days when I used to be a kid, and this is what I remember. Nothing wrong with it. I have a totally different feeling. That's number one. And number two, I don't think he sounds bad on the album at all. I'd be the first. You all know people were calling me honest here earlier. I'm very honest. I'll tell you, my God, he sounds horrible on this album. He doesn't. At least to me, he doesn't. To a lot of people, he doesn't. Glad to see J.D. Thompson here. Hello, J.D. Still struggling as far as our favorite topic is concerned, believe it or not. Do you think Wings gets into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I have no way of knowing what to expect. Do I think they should be in there? No. I'm sorry. And I feel like Paul McCartney's been in there already on, with the Beatles and solo. I mean, I think he's in there twice, right? This thing about like taking an artist and putting them in multiple times, I don't know. I know there's other people too in the band. Denny Lane was in Wings, and Linda McCartney, and you had all the other the guitarists and drummers and everything. I understand it's a group thing, but personally, I don't think Wings should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm being honest. Censorship often draws more attention than just leaving the tracks alone. Exactly. I think they would have been better off just putting out the John Lennon Power to the People box set last year with the Woman Is the Blank song in there, and just nobody would even be saying anything about it. But they didn't want to take that chance in today's climate. Thoughts on Backseat of My Car? Paul had it during Get Back rehearsals. I've always thought it was a great song. The thing about Backseat of My Car is it's never been one of my favorites. Now, that doesn't mean that I dislike it. I do not dislike it. It's okay. It's good, but I don't know why it's never blown me away off this earth. I don't know why. I do think it's quite a good song. The more I think about it in my head now, it is. And it's a good closer. It's a great closer for the Ram album. It's just not a personal favorite of mine. I think it's good with the Boys of Dungeon Lane songs in that they were written to accommodate his voice and his range. And me too. Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah. That's it. I saw my mom the same at 87, and she was 47. Just mom. Well, that's the whole thing. I love this idea now. Look, I'm the first guy to criticize Paul if he doesn't sound too good, and I've done that in live performances. But as long as he can maintain decent song recordings on record, on the albums, and if it means he needs a little tweaking, whether it's AI, whether it's auto-tune, whether it's multi-layering. I think on this album, one of the things I like is that his voice is like layered over a few times here and there. It really helps. I'm fine with it because I say it's an old man now singing about his life now. I mean, something like Ripples in a Pond, where he sings about himself and Nancy, his wife, now at his age. But when you hear a song like Days We Left Behind, you don't want to hear Paul singing as if he's on the Ed Sullivan Show, and if he's like 20, 21 or 22 years old. You don't want to hear Paul sound like that on a song like that. When you hear him singing Down South, looking back to the early days when him and George as boys used to hang out together, you don't want to hear him sound like he did when he was 20. I mean, you see what I'm saying? That it actually adds to the song when his voice is a little more matured and rough a little. Even a song like Home to Us, when Paul and Ringo together are remembering the times they grew up in Liverpool, or in England, I should say. The Dingle, Liverpool. If they helped Paul's voice on Dungeon, I have 2 words. Thank you. Well, it worked. I think it worked. After a while, as you listen to the songs one after the other, you don't even think about his voice. I don't. Paul sounds fine. It's just not his voice anyway. The songs are good, and the musicianship is great. Yes, the musicianship is great. It's mostly him. It's not all Paul, but it's 90, as I understand it, 90%, 95% Paul. Is that good? Denny Lane is in there with the Moody Blues. Right. I don't think Wings will get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's already in with Paul, and the group had too many personnel changes. That's another thing, too. Yeah. Hello, Danny, if you're watching. I'm sure he is. Sure he is. Days We Left Behind reminds me of Hurt by Johnny Cash. Perfect for an older man. Well, that's it. And that's why I say, I hope we have Paul around for a long time yet. But when the day comes that we lose Paul, I think that song Days We Left Behind is going to be very poignant when we remember him and his life. And like I say, I hope it's a good distance away. But if it was less than a distance, if it was sooner rather than later, God help us, whatever, God forbid. The bottom line is that song is really going to resonate even more. I really think so. So I love the song Days We Left Behind. We're an hour into the show now. Cheers with some water. An hour into the show. Thank you, everybody, so far that's been here watching. And some people are lurking. You're just lurking and watching, and you're not making comments. Please make some comments. Please say hello. It's actually good enough to listen to every song and not think, well, I'm going to skip this one. I agree. We all struggle with something, Joe. Not a reason not to like you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that. I know you would never say that. I'm still rooting for you. Me too. Me too. Keep watching. I think Ripples in a Pond should have been released as a single. It sounds like a good pop song you would hear on the radio by any current artist. I don't know the state of radio today. I know if this was like 1977 or something, I would say it would be a good idea. Ripples in a Pond would make a great single. I don't know. Does it sound like a single from today? I wonder. Hello, Elementary Penguin. Everything doing good. I hope you're doing the same. Like two ripples in a pond. It's not two ripples, just ripples. Like ripples in a pond. Yeah. Thank you for your patience, folks, while we wait for comments to come. Do you do household chores, wash dishes, vacuum, etc.? I definitely wash dishes. Sometimes I put them off a little longer than I should. I got to get into the habit of doing dishes every morning, because, it's only fair that since my girlfriend cooks, I clean. I think that's fair. But sometimes instead of doing them every day, sometimes I'll wait a couple of days and then they build up. Can't do that. Paul's mom died at 47 and his dad died at 74. One show a week with Danny is not enough. Well, we did two, but you see, we just had a thing that's over on the other channel. Mayo Loves Mondays. We do the Joe and Danny show, and I did two shows with Danny 2 days in a row over there. And the thing is, once we did one show and it was getting good views. Then the next day we did a second show. Once we did that, the second show got the views, and everybody ignored the day before. See, if you put too many things together, one after the other. What am I eating later? I have half a sandwich left over. I had a sandwich earlier today, I ate half. and I have the other half left over. I'm not supposed to be doing bread, but I'm having it tonight. So there you go. Thoughts on McCartney's Big Lyrics book? Amazon also has that for $30 if any of you need it. I bought that. You want to know the truth? That's one of the things I'm thinking of axing. But the thing is, there's no reason. It's like, well, I'm not going to get a lot of money for it. If some of these books that you see up there, and that whole side is filled with books to the floor. A lot of those books, you're not going to gain anything financially if you sell them, so you might as well just keep them. Yeah, I know. I've said this before. No washing required. Use paper plates and cups. My girlfriend's she doesn't like that. She likes using real plates. You know what I mean? Let's see. Okay, any songs from the new album that have grown on you? Ripples in a Pond for me. I didn't like the mix and sound at first. Now I can't stop listening. It's such a well-written piece. Well, since you asked, I'll just go over them. The songs that I wasn't crazy about at first that have grown on me. First and foremost, "A Salesman Saint." To me, "Salesman Saint" is still my least favorite track on the album, but I do like it, and I do appreciate it, and I know what Paul's going for. He's not so much going for a catchy tune. He's going for something very powerful and making a statement and trying to give you a certain aura and a feeling of what his parents went through and the era, the sounds of the times. But anyway, so I appreciate that. First Star of the Night was not one of my favorites. It's still not one of my favorites. I like it. Life Can Be Hard. Probably Life Can Be Hard has grown for me the most. When I first heard Life Can Be Hard, that might have been my least favorite song. Now I really appreciate it. And finally, I would say We Too was a little tough at first. We Too was a track I didn't love at first, but now I kind of do. So, yeah, I like all the songs, but those were the ones that had to grow on me. Let's put it that way. If I have to revert to buying a 4K player, are the Beatles movies on 4K? Help is not. I think A Hard Day's Night might be, but I don't have 4K. I have no interest in the new Steven Spielberg movie. I'm afraid not. He said the big band bits were meant to sound like the radio coming through, which is exactly what they sound like because they're awkwardly placed, like as if you were listening to the radio in the background. Here he is, Danny. This is Danny. What do you say? I'm tempted to throw a link Danny's way. I don't know. Let me know. Should I do that? Let's see. Hello, Marcus. I watched you on the Ken Michaels show. I would have picked McCartney 1 as my favorite of the three. Not crazy when he gets too experimental. That's fair enough. Although, let's say, though, some of those choppy songs, those instrumentals on there and stuff, and Crean Crory at the end, those were experimental, at least back in the day. The only books I have are the Bruce Spicer original series, which are excellent, and the books with the recent Lennon releases. Yeah, I still have the Bruce Spicer books. I won't let them go because they're beautiful and they're well done, and there's a lot of good information in them. The books I tend to really want to keep are the ones that have a lot of information. I've been impressed with the amount of promoting that Paul has been doing. Yes, he's done a lot, but he's done a lot. He's done a lot in the past. You know what I mean? As far as promotion, this isn't the first time. Even for the album New, he did that. Okay, look at that. There's a Danny. A lot of people say Danny. Wonder if anybody else is like, no, don't put that guy on there. Don't. I don't know. Favorite foods on a steamy, ultra hot and humid day. Let's see. Chocolate shakes, soda, cold stuff, actually. No, egg and cheese sandwiches on a bagel. I don't know about that. Come on up, Danny. Well, I'm only gonna put the link out if he wants to come up. because I don't want it to turn into the Joe and Danny show. But we're doing all right. We've already been on 69 minutes. I've been on 60. That's my favorite number, 69. Isn't that a coincidence? But so we're doing good. I'm doing good. And Danny really likes the new album, Boys of Dungeon Lane. All right, Danny says, okay. See, I talked him into it here. Let me give you a link. Come on, I'm pressing the right click button here. Boy, somebody tell me, what's with the delay in this, man? I have a mouse here. And I'm putting, pressing the right click that's supposed to produce copy paste, and it just doesn't come up. It takes forever. Just hang loose. It'll come up eventually. There it is. Oh. Okay. Paul must be sick of people in the media kissing his arse and talking like he's a saint. I think he loves it, actually. Any new or different thoughts on the recent Ringo album? No, pretty much the Ringo album, the new one, Long, Long Road, I thought was quite good. I thought it was a good follow-up to Look Up. I loved Look Up last year, and I thought the new one was a good follow-up. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. I didn't think it was as good, but it's still good. But I just thought it just kind of petered out. It came, it was good. I enjoyed it. I played it 5 times or so. Then I put it back. I played Look Up more. That's all. But it's a good album. Good album, I think. I think Danny's singing career would really take off if he had more exposure. You should be his manager. There you go. That could be. A Hard Day's Night has a great Criterion Collection 4K, UHD, and Blu-ray. I hope they do the other Beatles movies this way. Looks and sounds phenomenal. The problem is that they seem to be basically like ignoring the movie Help, and that's the only thing I don't like about the whole thing. Where do you get the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman poster? I found it at a flea market, very cheap. It's not an original poster. An original poster like that from 1943 would probably cost me somewhere in the neighborhood of like $75,000 or something like that, or more. Danny's here. He's in the background, and I know he likes the new Paul album, so here he is. What's going on, Danny?
Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody out there in TV land?
Yeah, good. And of course, Danny can always be seen with me. We come on at least once a week. Last time we did twice, 2 days in a row, over at my other channel, which I'm going to put up here now. You all know it, but I'll put it up anyway. It's this channel here, Mayo Loves Mondays. It's for rants, life talk, and Joe and Danny show. And other stuff in between.
Go ahead, finish.
See, right away. No, it's because it's it's a channel about life. Anything to do with life, good things about life, bad things about life, health things. And Danny and I do a life show, kind of, right, Danny?
That's correct. Yeah. I see that Hermit's clear vinyl. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. See that? Yeah. It took me four times.
Spending money already, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I'm coming into a little bit.
Hey, Joe, you guys see the topic for Wednesday about what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, let's go here. Well, yeah, there you go. Penny Lane saying hello.
Love you. Love everybody here.
And where's all of Danny fans?
Hey, Walkman, lately you've been on Joe's side, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, Jeff says I'm still okay with DVD. The truth is with me, some things I watch DVD. I have a 4K TV, 55-inch, and when I play them, some things look fine on DVD. And other things I'm like, nah, this don't look as good. So it depends on which DVD it is. Well, okay.
You know, if this was a different show, I would have something to say about that, right?
Yeah, you can, but you're not going to get any reaction from me.
Hello, Ramoga. Oh,
You know,
you're
the
welcome.
thing is,
Thanks for
Danny,
having.
I just remembered. Hold on a minute. You know, Danny, I've been sitting here for an hour and 14 minutes with my pole in the water, and I have not caught anything.
The fish ain't biting.
I don't know what's going on here. Let me reel it in. I'm gonna put like a fresh worm on the hook. Let's see.
Joe's crazy.
All right, I'll just leave it sitting here. All right. There you go. So anyway, what's on everybody's so-called minds? To give you a little taste of the Joe and Danny show here a little bit, you know.
Hey, that game is coming up soon, and Knicks, everybody's going berserk. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. Herman's Hermit song, I'm Into Something Good, written by Goffin and King. And they write so many freaking songs, man.
Oh, yeah, Carole King. Yeah, Carol. Yeah, she's a great songwriter, that one. Nobody remembers her.
Oh, they do. But that, you know what it is? A lot of people don't know how many songs are hers.
Yeah. Yeah, the same with Neil Sedaka.
Yeah, I can't stand him, but still.
No. You shouldn't talk like that about anybody. I can't stand them. What do you do to you?
This is the kind of show. See, now if we were on the Joe and Danny show, I'd be taking them to task. Sure. I don't like him. Simple as that.
I like Neil Sedaka. That guy he wrote for a lot of other people too. You got to remember songs that you probably hear, but you don't realize that he wrote it. My shoulder's okay. You know, I was coming up the stairs. I was holding a pair of shoes. I was coming up the stairs. The second step, I lost it, and my shoulder went down on the post down the bottom of the stairs that holds the rail, and I scraped it a little bit. But it's too far up to show it. But no, I don't. It don't really hurt no more. I just had to keep it clean. You know, rubbing, treated it so it don't get infected. You know, it's not deep.
You see, this is the kind of stuff you can enjoy. The kind of tragedies and health problems that you can hear on our Life channel. Mayo loves Mondays.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know. Hi, Dino. How are you?
Dino.
It's sad we're losing a lot of people. You know, everybody's up in age, including ourselves. You know, me and Joe. You know,
but speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Time goes quick. Goes very fast.
But I was thinking, you know, you were talking about how many things you liked on the song "The Boys of Dungeon Lane." So you could talk about that a little bit.
Haven't we talked enough about it? What is there to say?
We haven't talked about it. This is the Beatles channel where now you can have it on record.
In my opinion, it's a masterpiece.
I'm wondering if this is the true Beatle Babe. I hope so.
Yeah, hello, if it is.
It is.
And hello, if it ain't. But it's a masterpiece. It's going to take time for people, you know, out there to figure it out. You know, and I hope he comes out with another album. Joe feels the opposite. This should be his last. You know, but I don't agree with it. You know, he has 11 songs.
Well, if the next one can be as even stronger than this one, as I like the idea of leaving with a strong album.
Yeah, I don't know where this music comes from in his head. You know, it's amazing. You know, it's fascinating. Try to write a song. Sit down tonight and try to write one song.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it. I'm going to put this. I know this is a tweak job by some troll, but I'm going to put it up there because it's ridiculous. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm handsome. Girls love me, man.
Yeah.
Mailbox is full of mail. You know.
Yeah.
I come to see you. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I'm married.
Yeah.
So what's up, Joe?
I don't know. It's all good.
All good, huh?
Right now, you know.
Yeah, I'm by myself.
When we were young, who knew that the stairs would become a health hazard?
Yeah, You know, that's one thing. You'd be surprised how many people die in falls. You know. Anyway, let's talk Beatles. You know, I'll stand by, but I don't know a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not deep into the Beatles. You know, like
Well,
Joe.
do the best you can, and we can talk about everything within reason. But there you go. Hi, Danny. Sorry about your fall. Hope you're doing okay.
Thank you, JD. You know, what? Let's talk about very shortly about Joe's diet.
We're not talking about that on this channel. We talk about that on the other channel. Just
Well,
dropped it. You see what I mean? You got to ruin everything, cue ball.
just dropped in.
Just dropped in to say hi. Hello. It's good to hear from you.
My condition was in. You know, Kenny Rogers in the first edition.
Sure.
That's a great song.
The only complaint I have about the boys at Dungeon Lane is the lack of creativity in the cover.
You get used to it. You get used to it. I like to have the street sign. I love to have one, even a replica. I love to have one. You know, I'll put it on my wall. You know.
If he sticks with Andrew Watt, who produced this album, there's hope for another album. Yeah, that's part of the success is because of Andrew Watt, I believe. Maybe his last album will come out after he dies, like John and George.
Yeah, well,
you never know. You never know.
We're hoping he lives a long time. You know, he could live to be 100. You never know.
Yeah.
Robin's fine. She went to a campsite. Her daughter's camping. You know, so she made a birthday cake for one of our grandchildren, and she's over there right now. So I'm by myself. You know, now I'm not by myself.
That's terrible. That's terrible. It's an off-color joke. It's an off-color joke.
Yeah. See, a lot of people talk about that. You know, how long does this person got left? That person. I don't really like to talk about that. You know.
Hey, we're very lucky. If you would have told me, years ago that Paul would have an album this good out at this age, I would have doubted it. I would have doubted.
Yeah. Well, you could see throughout the years, even Wings era, this and that, and then he was solo, and he's writing great music. So I never thought about it, but yeah, it's a long time.
How would you rate the new McCartney album compared to his other albums? Would you say it was top 1-0 McCartney top album or top 10? Maybe McCartney album top 20 best? Well, I've actually figured that out, and I am going to make a video at some point where I'll tell you what it is. I may do it for his birthday this year, around his birthday in 5 days, or give or take a day here or there. I may do that because I have an idea where I'd place it now. And a lot of people get all uptight and they say, you can't judge an album now. It's too early to judge where an album. I'm telling you how I feel about it today, right now, this year. If I do another one next year or the year after or 5 or 10 years after, the album may be somewhere else. But there's nothing wrong with telling you how you feel at the present.
Yeah, it's a great album, but you can't overplay it. You can't play it 5 times a day because down the road, you're going to put it on the shelf and that's it. Play it once in a while.
And speaking of that, this says it. I've listened 3 times. Feels like I'm 97 listens behind everyone else.
Yeah, that's what happens with a good album,
I'm just happy we're able to talk about Paul's new songs in 2026. I always like saying this, Danny, and I've said this before. Everybody who hasn't heard it. This year, 2026, marks 65 years that there have been Beatles-related songs out. At least one song, if not more, or an album or 2, 3, by at least one of the members of the Beatles in 65 years. From 1961, that's before I was born, okay, till now. It started with the Tony Sheridan recordings in 61, and when John Lennon sang lead on Ain't She Sweet, and George and John wrote their only song together, the instrumental, Cry for a Shadow. That was 1961. And then every year after that, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, all the way to now, there's been at least one track. You can't find a year where there hasn't been at least one new song, if not more.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. And I heard you talking about Wings going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, they had different lineups. Okay,
Right.
so in that case, it's very difficult. But Wings had a band, they played from the beginning to the end. I can see it's a different story. But if they change band members all the time, it's very difficult to put them in.
Brainwashed was a great posthumous album for George. I love it. I love it too. It's just a shame. Every time I think of George's albums, as much as I love Brainwashed, I almost forget it. I almost forget that it's there. I got to always remind myself that it's there.
I never heard the album. I haven't. But I could play it once I get off the air. I could play it. I
Yeah,
can
play
get.
Brainwashed.
I don't have it. Yeah,
That's the trick with great albums. Don't overplay them. You can tire of anything.
yeah. Can't
That is
overplay.
true.
That's
Danny
right.
is right about that one. Yep.
Yep.
It's
Don't over.
happening. It happened to me with Full Moon Fever by Tom Petty. Well, the radio overplayed that actually. So when I first heard Free Fallin', I thought Free Fallin' was the greatest thing. And when I first heard Running Down a Dream, first time I heard, I thought it was good. Now it's all over the flipping radio and in grocery stores and things.
Yeah, you get tired.
I do remember this name. Was Wings nothing more than a Thunderclap Newman tribute band? I don't know.
Well, that's one song they did, Thunderclap, but it had a Jimmy McCulloch in it, a young Jimmy McCulloch.
Something in the air?
Yeah, Jimmy McCulloch was a guitarist on that song, or possibly maybe the whole album. That's a one-hit wonder, by the way.
I was going to say, when it comes to Thunderclap Newman, I think I could show my famous card.
I only know one song, and and Jimmy was on it. He died young, very young. Unfortunately, those friggin' drugs, man.
Why do you personally think that Paul started Wings instead of staying solo? I'm new to the history. Well, I think because he missed having a band. He wanted to start all over again. Want to start all over again, just like it used to be with the Beatles, where you have a little band and you play in little clubs and you play little gigs and try to get an audience. I think that was to go back to that is what I think he was trying to do. And
I got a lot of Wings. I got a lot of vinyl and also a CD. Wings
Sure.
Over America. That's 3 album set. I got Ram. I got Band on the Run. Wings at the Speed of Sound. Venus and Mars is a great album. Venus and Mars. If you haven't listened to that album, it's very good. Venus and Mars.
Yeah, Venus and Mars is in my top 3 or so. 3 or 4. Probably 3. Yeah, it's up there. Top 5 easily.
Yeah, I like talking about music. It could be Emerson, like a Palmer, Supertramp, REM, a lot of those groups there I'm familiar with. Beatles, not. I mean, I have all 13 recordings, studio recordings. I'm happy with that, of the Beatles.
Okay, Wings was Paul, Linda, and Denny. All the other members were just like session players. They're interchangeable. I guess.
Yeah, look at Linda on Uncle Albert, my favorite song.
Danny loves that song. I know he does. Uncle Albert.
We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. We're so sorry if we caused you any pain. The kettle's on the boil. We're so easy brought away. That's for 4D Man. That's for you, 4D Man. He says he would buy my album. He says, and he was telling the truth. He would buy my album. Yeah. You can go to Target and you'll find it there.
Some albums took me several listens and years to get to dig, like Fear of Music or No Jacket Required. I know that No Jacket Required is Phil Collins. What's Fear of Music?
Talking Heads.
Oh, okay.
Talking Heads. Great album. It's like the cover's black and it has diamond play. Like you see on the streets when they cover where they dug diamond play. That's a great album by Talking Heads. You see how smart I am? See?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I have a lot of Talking Heads.
Yeah, Rock Show's a great concert, sure.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Danny to sing Monkberry Moon Delight. Well, he hasn't. He's got to know
Imagine
the words to that's a lot of words to that.
the highs. I mean, Paul's highs. I'm surprised he didn't blow out his vocal cords in that song.
Alice Cooper also making music. Yeah, but does he have a new song every one of those 60 years? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I know he's been around 60 years, but has he had a new song, at least one song?
Well, it's different, you know. So happened that the four Beatles and lasted this long. But Alice is my favorite American band. My favorite. It might not be the best, but he's my favorite. Poor D man.
Which band?
Man.
Which band do you think are the next Rolling Stones? If there are bands like that, I don't know of any. I don't follow new bands.
Next Rolling Stones. Oasis. Oasis. You don't have that clip no more, do you?
Oasis. I'm looking for it. Oasis. I don't know.
They're a fantastic band. Fantastic. Noel Gallagher is another mute. You can put him up with Paul McCartney. They're both geniuses. Where this shit comes from? These songs is and not only the lyrics, it's the melodies. You know, unbelievable, fascinating.
Sure, I agree with that. Linda's harmonies were what made the Wings sound. Yeah, it was partly Linda. Yeah, I agree.
I tell you, I like Cooking a House on the Wings at the Speed of Sound. I like that song.
I don't know. I don't know if there was really an Uncle Albert.
Yes, it's a true story. Yes,
no, it was.
Yes, it is. Yeah, read into it.
That's funny if you know that, and I don't.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not lying.
The infamous Danny.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
he's the infamous Danny. Let's face it.
The King of Chaos, man. I got to be good on this show.
Yeah, you got to be good on this show because I can't lose my patience.
Show everybody I could be very good.
That's why Paul's solo post 99 sounds extremely different because no woman on background vocals.
Oh. Yeah, hello everybody. I know some new people are coming up. Hello.
Man, I tell you, man, the fish just aren't biting anymore, Danny. I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, the fish went deep into the water, deep because it's hot outside.
And I was even thinking with you here, you might be scaring the fish off a little bit too.
Nah.
You know. Oh boy, I'm a real big fan. Albert Kendall, maybe the name.
Is he related to Jeff Kendall?
Yeah, Paul tried to make Wings at the Speed of Sound more of a band album by having other singers on the song. Big mistake.
I love that album. I don't care what Joe says. I love that album.
You don't care what I say. I like the album. It's just not one of my top 10, that's all. But the other thing is, I just said a big mistake, but then I thought to myself, I love Wino Junko with but Jimmy. I do like Time to Denny. I always like Denny's fine.
Time to Hide, Beware My Love.
You know, but as far, I'm trying to think like the other song. I must do something about it. But Joe English, I don't really care for really.
There's a song I Never Wrote. I like that song, believe it or not.
What song?
The Note I Never Wrote.
I hate that song. Ugh.
Oh, I don't hate that song. I like that.
What a boring song.
No. Teach his own.
Yeah, I'm just giving you my opinion, young man. I did. I love White Prayer. I like the whole thing almost continuously. Did you ever hear that?
I have that CD. I have it. I bought it a long time ago. I played it 2 times. I enjoyed it. I put it away. You know, it's time to pull it out again. You know, when people bring up music, that's when you go back and pull out those albums and play them. Otherwise, I got too much. You don't know where to go. You look at all the albums. You don't know what to play. It's like when you give kids too many toys, they don't play with anything. You know.
A lot of spoiled kids out there.
No, I mean, I don't. That's not what I want to listen to because there's so much. Oh, I like this, I like that.
Anyway, Cherry Carter watched Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster, and not as bad as I was expecting. Let me tell you something. That is a bad movie. However, I have a lot of fun with it. It's one of those movies that's considered one of the worst movies ever made, but yet it's incompetent, and it's not very well done, but yet it's fun. That's what I think of it. It's fun.
Right.
All right, so I'm not a big fan, so I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that a long time ago.
Yeah, I think, Speed of Sound is kind of underrated. Well, the problem, Venus and Mars is better, but Beware My Love is a hidden gem. It is. Beware My Love is one of the top 3 tracks on the album for me. But the thing is, it's just not, I don't think it's that consistent. It's not consistent enough for me. Some weak tracks on it. There you go. I saw Murder by Death for the first time with my son a few nights ago. That's Hitchcock. Then I watched it again with my daughter last night. It has a lot of lame gags, but then there were some really funny ones too.
Oh, very good.
I'm still waiting for my Boys of Dungeon Lane shirt to come. I sent away for the Boys of Dungeon Lane shirt, and when I say that, it's not official. It's not the Paul site. Sorry. I ordered a forest green Boys of Dungeon Lane shirt. Has not arrived yet. It's late, and I looked and they got the address wrong, and I had to fix the address. I don't know when it's going to come.
Forest green.
You never wrote, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't get such a boring song mixed up. And I think Paul wrote it. Paul wrote that song,
even though song. You're just like too many hooks. This is Joe. He's a hook man.
That's not true, Danny. There's lots of songs.
Yeah. 90% of the songs you like hooks. Otherwise, you don't.
No, this is the kind of fighting that we do on the other show because this guy insists. Let me tell you something. First of all, you're damn right. I love catchy hooks. I love catchy choruses. They're my favorite thing. But that's not all I like in songs. There's songs that don't have catchy hooks or catchy choruses that I like too. The Note You Never Wrote is monotonous in my opinion. I read the note that you never wrote, and I read the note that you never wrote. It's boring to me, the song. Boring.
That's not boring. No.
And that is a hook, by the way, that line.
But Joe, you like to Guess Who? I like 3 songs.
I like 3 or 4 songs, yeah.
And they had a lot of hits.
Okay. Name them.
He don't listen.
Name the songs. Prove my point. Name the songs.
Oh, I can't name them all because
name the ones you know that you like right away.
American Woman.
One, that's the first one. Yeah, go ahead.
These Eyes.
These Eyes, my second one. Yeah.
What else is there? There's a few.
Okay, I rest my case.
So
I know there's one other one that I like too, but whatever. All right. In his defense, they recorded that album in the middle of touring. Exactly, Jim. It's not easy. That's why I only like dealing with this guy once a week. Really.
I love you, Spring Hill.
Because
I think his name is Archie. I love you, Archie. Don't worry about it.
He's been all right up to a point.
Yeah. No Sugar Tonight, which is a flip side to American Woman on a 45.
Oh, flip side, eh? Okay. All songs have hooks.
Not really.
I don't know about that.
Not really. No. But I like deep cuts. Well, Joe.
No time for a summer friend.
No time left.
No time for a summer friend. He doesn't even know it.
Oh, No Time. It's called No Time.
Right, it's called No Time. No time for a summer friend, right? All right. There you go. That's 3 I like.
There's more. That was Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings,
She's Come Undone.
Yeah, that's another one. There you go. They say I'm stuck here. I'm on a live chat, and if I don't talk, Joe mutes me all the time.
Wait a minute, Murder by Death. What was I thinking of then? The Hugh Hitchcock movie, with similar title.
I watched Peter Falk today. I watched Columbo. I get the whole series. But every Saturday from 8 o'clock in the morning to afternoon, they have Columbo. But they show the same ones, but I still watch them. I love Columbo.
You don't have to apologize, Gary. How was that?
Power failure.
Did you see something?
Yeah, it's the end of the world, Joe. What's my blood sugar?
A1C. No, I'm saying this is not your A1C.
My blood sugar. Wait a minute.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I just ate supper.
No, get out of here.
I had cereal, cereal is very bad if you're a diabetic.
Yeah, that's all he does. See, this is the thing. I don't want to get into this fighting. It's ridiculous.
I'm not fighting. Gary, I always like your comments that you make. You know, it's very kind of you to make those comments. You know, I really. If you go ahead. If you see a like on it like that, it's me.
I'm not thinking of Dial M for Murder. I'm thinking of his last movie.
Yeah, that's also Alfred Hitchcock, but it doesn't have Peter Falk in it.
Here you go. A hook is just a memorable bit of a song that makes you want to hear it again.
That's right. But I like deep cuts. You know, I love Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You know, when I listened to their album, I enjoyed all the albums they made. Just about maybe one I don't care for so much, but I played a few times. You know, Joe says, "Well, we ain't got the time. You enjoy what you're listening to at the moment. Doesn't matter if you got 1,800 albums."
This is the kind of bullshit, folks, that we talk about. We debate over and over. It's the same thing all the time, and it's usually on the other show, not here.
I'm just explaining the way I listen. You just don't want to hear it.
Watch it, Danny. I don't want to hear it. Anyway, same old nonsense over and over again. I told you it's up to the individual to decide if it's worth listening to for them or not. It's up to the individual.
Right. I'm not saying you have to listen to it. You just don't understand English.
That's English?
Yeah, it's English.
Yeah, Randy Bachman, so he wasn't in the best of moods. Yep.
Yeah, of course. They're tired. You know.
Then he just had Tootsie Roll casserole for dinner. Yep.
I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Yep.
Oh, America's Got Talent? No, I don't think so.
Family Plot. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I was thinking Murder by Death. Yeah. Okay. Check it. It sounds like an interesting film. Beat Girl, also called Wild for Kicks, with Christopher Lee as the manager of a strip club. I never heard of that. That sounds hilarious, man.
Hey, Jim got inputs.
Yeah. Thoughts on Chaos and Creation? I feel it's very overrated. I like Jenny Wren, but the rest of the tracks are just okay for me. I don't get why people fawn over that album. Okay. I love Jenny Wren. I think that Chaos and Creation in the Backyard is a fine Paul album. I'm one of the people that likes it. The thing I like about it is that it's the most closest album to Paul that Paul has done to John Lennon's Plasticono band, John Lennon Plasticono band. It's got Paul serious. It's kind of dreary. It's got him not writing a lot of sap. It's kind of like really showing his feelings and being very vulnerable. Now, having said that, there's a debate now going on right now as to whether or not the new album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane, is better than Chaos. And the reason people are comparing it to Chaos is because it also has Paul being a little more talking about his life, being more introspective, serious. I think it's better than Chaos and Creation, a new album. I think because there has some lighter moments and it has a little more joy, has a little more pop, a little more rock. So I think it has more, it's varied better. It's Chaos more light. Chaos is heavy. Dungeon Lane is Chaos light. That's my opinion. By the way, Jim, I appreciate you telling me about this movie, but I didn't want to hear a spoiler that Christopher Lee gets stabbed in the end.
Now you don't have to watch it. You're saving
Uh,
time. 1976.
Chaos is my favorite album by anyone. That's cool.
Wow.
That's saying a lot. Okay, I'm going to sleep now with you. Oh, thank you. That sounds a little bit more information than I want to know. On TV in the background. Stay on for a bit until I fall asleep. Oh, sure.
That's Peter.
Perfect word for chaos and creation in the backyard. Vulnerability. Apologies. Yeah, well.
Yeah,
I got to remember that. But if I want to look this movie up online, is it available? Is it available commonly? Is it easy to get this movie, or is that movie with Lee harder to get? I got to remember the name of it. Do I get on the American title? I don't know. Dungeon Lane is creation without the chaos. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's James Byers from England.
Sure.
Yeah, he's been on Docs. Yeah, he's a nice gentleman.
Oh wait, I thought I got a bite on the line. No, I just moved my leg. I thought I had a bite on the line. Listen, I wanted to ask Danny. I wonder if this fish knows I'm going for him. Sometimes the fish knows.
Well,
I don't know.
You should have mentioned that you were fishing.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine the fish knows.
Oh, if somebody's guilty, then they're gonna say, "Oh,
no, you don't let out more stuff." Guilty. I'd say if I was guilty of anything. See what I mean? You ruin everything. I like just about everything on Chaos and Creation. He's thoughtful lyrics. Maybe his mind was in a darker mood at the time during his troubled second marriage. He's a human being, for God's sake, instead of all cheery, 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 good day sunshine fluff. I'm open to changing my mind on Chaos versus Boys at Dungeon Lane. Although Paul has never acknowledged it, Writing to Vanity Fair is a raw song about Heather Mills. Well, it could be. I think it could be, for sure. But, it's not a fact unless the guy says it, unfortunately. I wish Ringo played the drums on all of the tracks at Dungeon Lane. Well, I like Ringo's drumming, but I like what I hear on the rest of the album, too, that's not Ringo. Maybe you could sing, whatever his name is, Limes, a.k.a. Peter, a lullaby to go to sleep by.
Yeah. I'll sing Carry That Weight.
I can't agree with you on this one, Tony D. The drums by Alan White on Instant Karma are fabulous. I mean, I can't imagine Ringo. Well, he might have been able to match that, but the drums are really good on Instant Karma.
Very good. But you see it in the video, too, I like watching drummers,
Sure. I don't have any feelings about Heather Mills these days whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know where. I can't say anything about it because I don't know where, but only they know.
Look at this. Beat Girl is free to watch on YouTube.
I was gonna write it down.
I'm gonna write it down because I'll forget it.
Usually, when he watches a movie, he falls asleep.
Not always.
Well, I bet you a lot. Yeah. Joe's up early in the morning on his channels there, giving hearts out and making comments. Takes a lot of time.
In other words, your shows are sleep inducing. Well, I know he loves when we talk about health problems. He loves that. Not really. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I don't want VHS anymore, Jim. Yeah.
I still got all mine. I never threw them out. And I got players, too. I got like 3, because I got good stuff on there from the 80s. I used to tape MTV. When they had concerts and the videos, I got loads and loads of VHS, and I don't want to throw them away. I don't play them, but there might come a time where I'll say, hon, help me pull out these cases of VHS because they're heavy too, I still got all the cassettes. I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cassettes. I'm not gonna throw that shit out.
Danny could sing Goodnight. You don't know it, right?
Is it a Beatles song? Whose song
Yeah.
is it?
It's
I don't know it.
on the White Album.
I don't know it.
Would you consider is Wink the Man? Would you consider Home to Us technically a Beatles song? No, I would not. But what I would consider it is a Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr duet.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? It's not a Paul McCartney song. It's a Paul and Ringo duet.
right.
That's what I consider it. And just like songs came out like by Barbara Streisand and Donna Summer, No More Tears, Enough is Enough. That was like a dual thing. Or Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Elton John and Kiki D, kind of, although that's considered an Elton John song pretty much. But
Ozzy had an album called No More Tears. Ozzy
yeah,
Osbourne.
Danny's not going to sing the song. I don't know why I can't get rid of the comment. I don't know. The woman's song, don't sing it.
Yeah,
Without,
a lot of times I don't know the lyrics. I'm a music person. I can listen to a song. Well, a lot of songs I already know what the words are, but I can tune it out and just listen to the music, and I'm happy. Sometimes you can't understand singers. Certain bands you can't understand certain things that they say. You can't pick up the words.
I like the double drums. Ringo and Jim Keltner in the concert for Bangladesh. Wah wah, and It Don't Come Easy. That's only, as much as I love Ringo, that's probably only because Ringo couldn't handle it, to be honest with you. But whatever, you know.
Yeah, I don't understand that Wah Wah song. I don't get that by George Harrison.
What, the wah wah song?
Yeah, I don't like that song. I don't get it.
Well, you don't get it. Well, let me give you. I could sing wah wah with you. You know why?
Why?
Because wah wah is a British term for a headache. You're giving me a headache.
Oh,
You're giving me a wah wah.
I didn't know that. I didn't
You
know
give
that.
me a freaking wah wah every time we do that show. And now even a mild wah wah you're giving me tonight. But
People, people want more.
anyway, you asked me a question. I'm giving you my answer. I don't consider whoever did ask me the question. I don't consider it a Beatles song, Home to Us. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have George and George. It can't be a Beatles song.
Let's not go there because people are going to say Yesterday's considered a Beatles song with just Paul and all this stuff. Yeah. Home to Us could count. Well, I don't count it, in my opinion. It's an opinion question, Tony. That's all. Now, this is interesting. VHS tapes can rot over the years, and Beetle Babe says so can DVDs, though. Now, this is true, although I will tell you, I don't ever remember a VHS tape rotting on me. And they used to say one day if you play a videotape couple hundred times, it'll erase eventually. I've never had one erase. Come think of it, because I got my first VHS tapes when I was like 19 years old, and I had thought, oh, it's gonna turn to static. It's gonna erase. I never played any VHS tape 100 times in my life. I don't think. Maybe like 20, but never 100. And the DVDs, I've also never had a DVD. Well, wait, no, that's not true. I had a couple rot on me. There was something wrong with the way they were made, the glue they were using, because some of them, they glue a top and bottom piece together, I believe, to make them or something. But yeah, but even there too, though, Beetle Babe, even with DVDs, I mean, I've had since 1997, I bought DVDs, and I had maybe 2, 3. I mean, it's a very rare thing to me. Either way, Paul plays good drums. We could play for other rock bands. Yeah. Danny giving me the wah wah.
That song is weird.
It is.
But VHS, cassette, you got to keep them away from anything magnetic, like speakers, receivers. Then it'll erase the tape. You'll get dropout. What they call dropout.
Yeah, that's true. Dropouts happen. Glitches and dropouts.
Yeah.
For no one, it's technically just Paul and Ringo. Yep. Well, it has to do with Ringo singing on it anyway. Yes, tapes will eventually degrade from overwatching, but you have to work at it. A DVD can get disc rot even if it has never been played. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, if you run into one, you just replace it. What are you going to do?
It just that, and that's the other thing. You can always replace them. I mean, but we're not getting into that. I mean, that's not the debate. She's just saying, rightfully so.
I understand what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I've only had 2 DVDs get disc rot. One was sadly the 1999 release of Yellow Submarine. That's
Wow.
sad. That's that one. But you know, you could, if you really want it, you could always get it back. I heard this somewhere, but I wouldn't do it. No, because if you do that, no, maybe not VHS tape, something else. But if you do that, you're gonna get all kinds of. You're gonna get condensation and mist on the film, the tape. That's not good.
You can't keep VHS tapes in the refrigerator or freezer. You can't. It'll make the tape brittle, very brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's good.
replaced Yellow Submarine, not an issue.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Apparently, Mark Lewison said Volume 2 will likely be 2031. I
Huh?
don't even care anymore, almost. Well, then again, I was going to say I don't even care anymore. Then I said almost, because I am interested in seeing what he's going to write for the years like 64 to 66, you know?
I don't care anymore. Phil Collins. I love that song. There's
Yeah.
good drums. Phil Collins on drums.
I listened to the McCartney album while walking the other day. There's a big cowbell hit in the middle. Yeah, more cowbell.
Nothing wrong with that. Cowbell.
Sure.
A couple bands use it. Blue Oyster Cult is one. Use cowbell. Loverboy uses it.
This is interesting. Back in 1980, the local library had Super 8 movies that you could check out. A few had magnetic soundtracks. When they got a magnetic security checkout system, they messed up those films.
Yeah, tape is amazing. Like cassette tape. You can record music on it and stuff like that. Really amazing if you think about it. And cassettes made a comeback. You could buy cassettes. Joe's going to buy a Dungeon Lane cassette, and if you go online, you can buy cassettes. You can't buy everything, but they make it a comeback after everybody threw their cassettes away. And look, you're being nice. You get DJ Trish cassettes. It's very nice of you, Joe.
Oh, she's been very nice to me.
Yeah, I know she has, and a lot of other people. I can say that.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of people. Oh, I can't even remember how many people sent me gifts and things.
Yeah, except for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still waiting for some money from you, Danny. You promised you were going to.
Wait a minute. You stole my birthday money on a live stream.
No, I didn't.
You. Look at that.
You were going to send me a gift. And then I thought, well, if that really was your birthday money, and it was not.
Yeah. Well, D-Man sent it to me. It says for Danny. $35.
How if that's the truth, which I don't recall, but all right. Even if I take you at your word for that, how am I going to get it to you? I don't see you.
Oh, I got a mailbox.
Yeah, I'm not sending cash.
Oh no, that's not what you said the other day. If you want people, you can send me cash in an envelope. I heard you.
I said I won't send cash through the mail. I didn't say other people can't send me cash. You want to send me cash? Take like tin foil or a dark heavy paper and put it over. I don't mind.
Yeah, Joe needs some donations. He's really struggling these days.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but then you say we're struggling these days. Then like, oh, you got all this stuff back here. But I'm not bothered. I'm not buying as much as I used to.
Sure.
Still trying to pay for the root canal. Although, boy, I got a story though that we're going to talk about.
No, Wednesday.
I came into some money a little bit. Anyway.
Come on, Joe. You keep talking.
I didn't say how much it was.
No, but the people got to catch on. They're not stupid.
Yeah, Paul still has it, obviously. I still has it, yeah. Yeah, the tape breaking on VHS and getting crumbled in the machine.
Oh, you got to keep the rollers clean. Q-tip and alcohol.
There's that too, yeah.
You got to clean that stuff.
Phil Collins, doesn't he cite Ringo as an influence? I know he liked the Beatles when he was in A Hard Day's Night, He was in the audience in A Hard Day's Night when they were doing the performance at the end of the Scala Theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phil Collins.
We still have a VCR. Occasionally watch a tape on it. At Christmas, we watch an old tape of the first Star Wars before they added CGI.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you can buy the original anymore. or Star Wars. What's that guy? He changed a few things.
I read Mark Lewison's Tune In Volume 1 in 2014, and I really want to read Volume 2. Well, Volume 1 is great. Which album should a new fan listen to first? Band on the Run or Ram? Well, I think Band on the... the order. I'm sorry. I was thinking Boys at Dungeon Lane. I don't think it matters which one you listen to personally. I know Ram came first. They're both great albums. I would say Band on the Run. If you've never heard it, I'd say Band on the Run first.
I would say the opposite. Ram first.
Keeps his rolls clean.
Yeah, you can't buy cheap tape. TDK is good. Maxell is good. You can't buy that cheap shit. You see 10 for $5.
Right.
That's computer tape. It's garbage. You don't want to use that.
When I need advice from you, I will ask for it.
Right, Joe? You'd be surprised how intelligent I am.
Come on, man. You got knowledge. Intelligence is another matter.
Very smart, man. You don't know, only if you know.
Well, there's different things. There's book smarts or knowing smarts, knowing things and being, common sense.
So when you go to a record store to pick up that Hermes, you should show it again.
Today I did.
I know. Oh, today?
Yeah. Well, I won't show it again, but it's earlier. When I'm by myself in the video, you can see it if you go back. My daughter found the Star Wars tape at a used movie and music store. There were still a lot of tapes on eBay. I saw the complete Beatles tape there. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that on VHS. It was $100. It's sitting under my TV. I played it one time. It's very good, but it's sitting. I never played it after that.
What? I got a request for Godzilla, so we'll do the Godzilla dance. There it is. I don't know if Ramoga's still here. We'll find out. Ramoga likes that.
Yeah, he's not commenting.
Yeah, those things happen.
Wow.
I gotta do George Harris. I can't think of a good quote. All dollars and no cents.
All dollars.
That's Danny. All dollars and no cents. Perfect.
Yeah, sure.
I still can't understand how Paul released all of these vinyl variants, and the album is not even top 3 in the U.S.
That's the record label doing that. Can you blame them?
Paul's just got just as much pull.
They're out to make money. That makes the world go round.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, Paul's just got just as much pull, I believe. I love Godzilla. See, he did see that. He did see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sealed. I have sealed 8-track tapes here.
Never owned one. The first thing was my radio and cassette. I never had an 8-track player in my life.
Yeah, Tom tries to do a Godzilla. There's actually some videos I've seen, or at least one, online where people try to imitate that Godzilla dance. By the way, if you look for it,
Funny.
Like,
oh yeah,
something like that. I gotta leave about 6:30. I got about a half an hour left. What's going on, everybody? Come on. This is pretty good. This is pretty good with Danny coming up as a guest and keeping it at bay. He's being cool. He's not being too chaotic because he could cause me to go nuts, man. He does it. Watch the other show on the other channel. I go nuts every time. I can't, and it's not an act. Not an act. I can't take the guy sometimes. Right, Danny?
Yeah, you guys out there want a good razor blade? You get Harry. Harry is 6 blades. Harry razors.
That's ridiculous. 6 blades.
Oh,
Save that for Wednesday show. I got 3 blades, and I think it's ridiculous. In the old days, you had 1, then you had 2, then you had 3, and then you got 7 blades.
Hey, that's longer, dumb shit.
What do you mean it's got all these blades on it?
Yeah, got 6 blades on one razor.
Oh, this is a little preview of our regular show where we go at it.
They come off. They're replaceable. See?
We got time for just 30, 40 more questions because I got nowhere to go. Oddly enough, I've listened to the new Paul album less after watching all the videos about it. I like it, but I'm subconsciously a contrarian. 6 Blades, is he a mafia boss?
No. He's advertised on a computer, TV. Yeah, it's a legitimate company.
A couple of friends of mine had stereos in the late 70s that played 8-track tapes. They sounded good, but they scrambled the order of songs, messing about. Yeah, 8-track tapes sucked. Okay? First of all, sometimes you would play an 8-track and you would hear other songs in the background that were bleeding through. That's the first thing. And other times they would interrupt. They would have a part 2. You'd be listening to, I know what happened for I Am the Walrus with the Beatles, and happened for Tomorrow Never Knows. You'd be listening to the track, and there wasn't enough room on the track that you were listening to because they were different tracks. And it would fade out in the middle of the song, and then you'd have to wait. It would pause and then click over to the next track. And then you hear it fade in, and they continue the song. Screw that. There you go. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's good. Let's not say what you always say with this, okay? Because I don't think Daddy's going to get together. I don't say your deal or whatever you made.
Yeah.
I don't even say it. I'll just erase them in the future. They need to do something about the ticket prices to see some of these older acts. Hundreds of dollars just to get in, and many don't have original members. Don't look at me. There's not much I can do. I'm not saying you're asking me to do anything, but by the way, I'll show this again for those just joining me who might not have seen this. Earlier, I showed this. This is a gift from Robert P., who's not here today. Leave My Kitten Alone. He made this. It's a colorized version of a single sleeve from 1985 that never came to be. This was going to be a single. Capitol was really thinking of putting this out, Leave My Kitten Alone. I don't know if it was Yoko or more than just Yoko who squashed it, but Oh Blood, the Oh Blood Da alternate version was going to be the B-side, and it never made it, but it did come out on anthology, eventually. My theory as to why Dungeon Lane went number 1 in the UK as to here in the US are the shows that he appeared in, or UK shows. The shows Paul did, the US media blitz, were not as popular as they used to be. Well, could be. Another friend of mine bought a used car in 82 with an 8-track tape player. He had the White Album on 2 tapes, and you never knew which song would be next. Well, that's part of the fun, I guess. Yeah. That's not, yeah. Fisticuffs would come about if you two ever met. I don't think so. But all I'd have to do if it came to that was just simply go like this, Danny. Give him like a little shot, he'd fall down, and that'd be the end of that.
Yeah, sure. That's what you think. I got my bodyguards with me.
You ain't bringing those dogs with you.
Yeah, Lola.
No, we ain't getting together. Oh, wasn't that going to be the single for the Abandoned Sessions album? Yes, indeed. Yeah. So, what's on everybody's minds out there? Yeah. Danny, what is your least favorite Beatles album? There's no more.
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you at all. They're all good. I mean, they're all good. So I don't think about least favorite. There's songs that I don't like. I don't care for too much. But I played them. But I don't know least favorite. No, I can't answer.
I can imagine you two in a coffee shop or a diner doing a live stream while you talk about music, food, and movies.
Joe don't drink coffee.
Well,
And
I couldn't picture, yeah, and Danny doesn't spend money, so I can't see us going to a diner unless I buy.
yeah, I would expect Joe to. Yeah, I'm the guest. I'm the visitor. Yeah, he's got to pay.
Yesterday, was it yesterday? My girlfriend and I, we went to a diner for like, well, between breakfast and lunch, like around noon or something like that. About $60 for the two of us.
Wow, wow, Joe, you're spending a lot of money eating out.
Gotta live life. Gotta enjoy yourself.
No. You're complaining about your bills.
Where am I gonna get a gyro at home?
You don't need a gyro. You're on a diet.
I didn't have the bread. I just ate the meat.
You need celery and carrots. That's what you need.
I just ate the meat. The bottom line is, Danny, we both enjoy. This is the kind of stuff. This is a preview. Join my other channel where we argue all the time, and you'll see our show on Wednesday mornings over at Mayo Loves Mondays. Anyway, so like I was saying, one of the things we enjoy best is going out to eat. We enjoy it
Why are you coughing so much? You don't even smoke.
because I'm overweight.
I don't believe
Because
that.
I'm overweight, and also because I have allergies. So put them both together, and there you go.
More like allergies. Sounds
Last year when I dropped some weight, I wasn't coughing as much. I have a scratchy throat, allergies. Give me a break. And I've been talking for over 2 hours. That's another reason. Yeah, they switched. They switched a couple there. Is hard rock your favorite genre, Danny? Considering you worship Alice Cooper.
No, not hard rock. Rock, pop. But I love Alice. I don't know where to put him. It would be shock rock, But he wrote some beautiful ballads. Beautiful ballads.
I guess everybody's least favorite is Yellow Submarine, but Danny doesn't know about that album.
I was young. I was very young. When I bought 15, when I bought Schools Out. Well, yeah, Schools Out, and then I bought the first two albums, Praise for You and Easy Action, and then I bought Killer, I Love It to Death, and all the way up. I was just fascinated by him. And in the 74 and 75, I seen him twice at Madison Square Garden. And the guy was fascinating. He's a great guy. He's a Christian. He stopped drinking 35 years ago. He made 2 albums that he don't remember recording in his life. 2 albums, and that was like I don't know where.
Yes, I have the anthology cassettes from '95 and '96. That's also a little preview of what I do. When Danny goes on a little too long, and I've got a question that's been up here for too long, I just mute him in the middle of a sentence, and it drives him nuts.
Gary can wait. He's patient.
Anyway, I have those cassettes, but I've never played them in my life. Just collect them. I like gyro. Some people call them gyros. In Arizona they call them gyros. We call them gyros here. Most people don't do this, but I put ketchup on them. But I don't have to because they give you that white sauce.
Yeah, gyros are Cuban, I believe. Cuban dish.
8-Tracks also had creative editing. A song would fade out all of a sudden. You hear the click. That's what I was saying. Yeah, changing, and the song would start up. Yeah. That was horrible. By the way, this next question, I'll tell you the first album that always pops in my mind when they ask. You say, what is the best album from 1979? For me, the first one that pops into mind is Blondie, Eat to the Beat. That's the first one. Also, Damn the Torpedoes by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Notice I didn't say something like the George Harrison self-titled or Back to the Egg by McCartney, even though those are favorites as well for me. Don't forget The Wall, Pink Floyd, The Wall. But I don't like the whole thing, There's one for you.
That's right. Only Women Bleed. I Never Cried. He makes great ballads. Yeah, I agree with you, James. Yeah, Alice Cooper. That guy's cool. Very cool.
Yes, I have the Live at the BBC cassettes. Yes, I do. Off the Wall by Michael Jackson.
Oh, you remember albums in years, huh?
Ellis and Ringo have that in common, kicking booze decades ago.
Yeah. Alice used to hang out with John Lennon and Elton John when the Lost Weekend. They were called the Hollywood Vampires. Yeah, he used to all hang out and get drunk and stuff like that. Alice Cooper was right there.
Hello to John Moreno. John, I still can't figure. You have a knack for joining in when I'm going to go off soon. I got 15 minutes left. If you have something quick to say, you're welcome to come up. I've always had a special liking for Beatles for Sale. I wouldn't rate it high among their albums, but I'm very fond of nearly everything on it. So am I. I like everything on it too. But if I was going to rank the Beatles albums, that would be near the bottom. Not because it's a bad album. There are no bad Beatles albums. Not at all. But you got to have lesser favorites. That's all. Yeah, I bet Joe would be scared to upset Lola.
Yeah, Lola's could be mean, very mean.
Well, the problem with that is if Robin and Danny came up to visit me, and brought Lola, the dog, with them, Lola's very protective of Robin. So when I go over to give her a kiss, a French kiss, Lola's going to go after me. So I wouldn't deal with that.
Yeah.
I've been to Greece. Some places sell gyros for around $3. Highway to Hell.
AC/DC?
Yes, I am proud to say that I have Beatles albums and shrink wrap that I don't play, and why is because it's a collector's thing. Some people do that, and not everybody understands, but that's okay with me that they don't understand.
No.
Oh yeah, Candio, that's another one. Yeah, for the Cars.
Oh yeah, Dream Police. That's an album by Cheap Trick, which is fantastic. I love all the Cars. I love all the Cars, and I was deeply hurt when Benjamin passed away. He to me, he had the better voice in the Cars, and Drive Alone, the song Drive. What a loss.
Yeah. I always say Ketchup, never say Catchup.
Catchup. That's what I say, Catchup.
Killer was Alice Cooper's best album for me.
Matter of opinion.
You know what my favorite album is, right? Alice Cooper, right?
$1 million baby. Fucking Alice Cooper, man.
That's not my favorite.
I think I want to go off and play him now.
I asked you, do you know what my favorite Alice Cooper album is?
You don't have one. Yeah. What's that? The Man Behind the Mask, right?
Constrictor. It's got two songs on it from Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, Teenage Frankenstein, and He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask.
Constrictor, yeah.
Just for those two songs. I never bothered listening to the rest of the album.
There you go. See? That's Joe. Two songs. The rest of the album.
Life's too short. Life's too short.
And then he goes to the other side and puts it down.
Yeah, I'd rather play some obscure Bob Dylan songs I've never heard before. Yeah. You're not really asking me this, are you? I guess you never really heard me talk about this before. I imagine that yes, I'm going to see the Beatles biopic movies in a few years, but the only reason when I talk about them, they're so far away that I don't really care about them right now. I don't think about it. I can imagine Joe with Danny on the camera, and Lola approaches Joe. Get that creature away from me. I'll bring dog spray with me if I have to.
No. I ain't gonna bring the dogs with us.
Well, you're the one who said you would.
Why would I bring the dogs with us? One day.
I got to tell you, I like this. Beatles for Sale, I have to be in the mood for, but With the Beatles is amazing. It doesn't get enough love. You're right. And my nephew gives it enough love. Do you know With the Beatles is my nephew's very, very favorite Beatle album? And he sends me photos. He plays all, by the way, he doesn't just like the Beatles. He likes a little bit of everything. But whenever he plays the Beatles, that seems to be the album he goes for the most. It sends me photos all the time when he puts it on the turntable. I didn't know there was a third song with Michael Jackson. What? How did you like? Oh, The Man. I hate that song. The Man. Hate it. I hate it. The only one I like is Say, Say, Say. I don't like The Man, and I don't like The Girl Is Mine. But I'll tell you this: if I had to pick one other than Say, 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 it would be The Girl Is Mine. I'd take The Girl Is Mine over The Man. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? What other group or solo artist has albums where almost all the songs on the albums are known with no real filler? Nobody that I could think of.
Oh shit!
That's why I got spoiled.
Rumors.
Hold on. The question was, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I don't know.
He thinks he's got me, but he doesn't.
No,
Because let me talk. Because I've said many times before that Rumors was the first album I ever discovered. My sister bought it and heard it all the time. I heard her playing it. And I said, it's the first album I ever discovered that was not a Beatles album, that every song was great on it. However, you asked about which other group with every one of their album or solo art, every one of their albums, every song.
No, that's impossible.
Yeah, well, it is not, only with the Beatles is it possible. They're all known with no real filler. I mean, you could argue a few Beatle tracks of filler, but that's very, very rare. Right. I thought of the King of Queens with this. I forget which question it was now, but what was the question where oh yeah, Ketchup and Catchup. Yeah, there's a great scene in the King of Queens where Arthur says to his son-in-law Doug, would you please pass the catsup? And he says, call it ketchup. And Arthur says catsup. And he says, say ketchup and I'll pass it. And he says, catsup. So finally Doug squirts his hamburger, Arthur's hamburger with tons of ketchup up to the ceiling. Say it. Say ketchup. Say it. And they're arguing over it. Yeah, I know you meant enough love. It's not a problem. I know that's what you meant. The Beatles Story. It's a Beatles album, technically. The Beatles Story. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, but it's not. I could pick albums I don't like. The Beatles Story would be one of them. Live at the Star Club in Hamburg would be another one I don't like. I could go. But when they say least favorite Beatle album, what they're really talking about, I guess, is the original Beatle albums, like the official catalog. Yeah, you're right. Technically, it's Beatles Story is an album, Beatles album. But London Call, I have no need for London Calling, and I don't know anything except London Calling. The song London Calling.
Oh, Clash.
And by the way, when I said my first thought, Danny, "Eat to the Beat" by Blondie, that's an album with every song on it, and there's maybe one or two hits on it. Remember that.
What's that song? Stay Pretty, Die Young.
Die Young, Stay Pretty. You always get that wrong.
Die Young, Stay Pretty. Okay, yeah, I always get that wrong. I don't know why. I know the song.
It's great, and that's an album track.
I like Plastic Letters too.
That's a weak one.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, Gyro. I've heard that's the proper pronunciation. Having heard that, I'll say gyro. Yes, Lola would bite you in that case, like he bites Daddy. Yeah, Lola bites her own master, for God's sake. That horrible dog.
Yeah, and I watch Lola.
Yeah, Constrictor is a fun album. See?
Yeah, there you go. Alice Cooper lover.
Christopher Cross he's got two songs, Arthur's Theme and Sailing. That's all I know about him.
No, that first album he came out with was fantastic.
What other songs you like off it?
I don't know. I can't remember now. I'm 17 years old. On the goddamn thing. You're doing that shit. But I know it's a good album.
You're so full of crap. All right, anyway. School. That's his best song. That's his best song.
Bullshit.
So, but the only problem with that is you got to be 14 to like it.
Still a cool song.
I think they're coming out in 2028, those movies with the Beatles biopics.
Who might be dead by 2028? Who the hell?
You know what I mean? This guy, he said, this is another segment of our show that we do on Wednesdays.
It's years away.
You say you could be dead when it suits you, when it suits your point. But other times, if I say it, you say, "Oh, what do you think like that for?"
Yeah, well, it's years away.
You may be very surprised by my answer to this one. This is a great, great question. And Ken Michaels, you should have used this in your preferences show. A Taste of Honey or Till There Was You. I will be the only one that will say this answer. Taste of Honey. There you go. He likes London Calling.
Yeah.
I consider Nirvana, the Stooges, and MC5 to have released filler-free albums, but it was only 3 albums from each. The first, I almost played the first. I have it on CD, and I was going to play it a few times. I just never got to it. The first album by Boston has every song that isn't filler and has been played on the radio.
Yeah,
I bet you recognize other songs. All I know that I know is More Than a Feeling of Peace of Mind from that album. I bet you if I play it, there's a lot of songs I recognize.
That's what I mean. I can't remember all the titles, but the songs are great. You know,
Put it this way.
The leader of Boston was Brad Kelp.
Well, hold on a minute. Well, what I'm saying is, if I liked the songs, I would damn well remember the names of them. That's what. Now we got 81 people here, more than we've had before. But I got to go in like 5-10 minutes. I wish so. Maybe I got to start doing this show later. The problem is I usually got to pick my girlfriend up a certain time. The Beatles story is a capital product. It's not an original Beatles catalog album. Semantics. My first CD in '85 was Wings' Greatest. I have all the albums, but I still love that CD. What are your favorite McCartney compilations? Wings' Greatest is still my favorite McCartney compilation. You named it. That's still my favorite, even though there were a lot of them. That's just my favorite. I wouldn't even name any other ones. There were a lot of them, but that's my favorite one.
I don't have any.
Concerts of Blondie from the mid-late 70s are great. Awesome energy. Hello to Marcus. Hello, Joe and Danny. Love you, bro.
I love you too, Marcus.
London Town should get more love as an album. I like about half of London Town songs. The other half is weak to me. London Town for me is a mid-tier McCartney album. It's not in the top 10. It's not in the lower 10. It's in the middle. Elvis Costello's Armed Forces is a good 1979 album. Also, Get the Knack. Oh, well, I mean, I know My Sharona. I know Good Girls Don't. I think there was a third one that was big by them.
Great band. The Knack was a great band.
Okay, well, what other songs do you like off their album?
I can't remember right now, but I know the albums. I have them. I know what they sound like.
I know that they Get the Knack. Yeah. How old were you when you started buying solo Beatles as they came out when new? Okay, well, here's the thing. I mean, 16 probably. This is the thing. I can't really remember the exact first one I bought when it was new, but then again, I bought John's Shaved Fish compilation when it was new, and I was probably about 13. And I bought Ringo's Blast from Your Past with the posters on the door here. I can't do it there. When that was new, I was 13. They came out same time, roughly the same period. But if you're talking about which album did I buy by solo Beatle myself when I was like just by a new solo album, not a compilation, like it's Ringo's Bad Boy album, which I like. A lot of people hate that album. I like it, but that was the first one because I was waiting for Ringo's TV show to be on. That was in 1978. I'd be 16. And then I bought George Harrison's self-titled album in 79. So those are the two albums, Ringo's Bad Boy and George Harrison album. But the first ones I bought when they were new.
Hi, James. How are you?
Doom and gloom, Danny strikes again about those Beatles albums. We all might be dead. Very cheery.
It's true. It's too far away. And then they might decide to cancel. Who knows? What you got to worry about that shit for? And another thing, we've been hearing Beatles for the last 60 years. I mean, there's other bands out there.
Get out of here then, this show.
Kansas, Guns N' Roses.
Kansas, you got Dust in the Wind and Carry On Wayward Son. And what are you talking about, Kansas?
You don't know nothing, man.
Get out of here. I like Gonna Hitch a Ride on Boston's first album. That's one without filler. I never heard John Lennon ever call A Taste of Honey a waste of money, but when playing you live stream start times, remember that Australia's East Coast is the most important time zone. I don't know about that. No offense. But I think 5 o'clock p.m. is better to start this.
Yeah, sure.
Danny will all be dead by the time Mark Lewis releases Tune In Volume 2.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, sure.
The first album by Boston, if you take it and you turn it around, it's a flaming guitar. So you don't see that very well when it's in normal position, You're kidding. Very cool album cover.
Sure, the Beatles story was Capitol product. So was Meet the Beatles, the Beatles' second album, etc., etc. Yeah, and still, I think the Beatles' second album is the all-time greatest Beatles album, even though it's Capitol. So there you go. I really love London Town, but I hate Morse Moose and the Grey Goose. So do I. Flaming Pie was the first new solo album I bought. Very, very good one. That's a good one that's a good one to be a first. I can't imagine the headline. Mark Lewison breaks longevity record at 120. He says that Volume 2 might be out in another 5 years.
That's what I mean. I'm 70 already. That guy might have a book. There you go, Joe. Joe, what are you going to be? 66.
When?
In 5 years.
5 years? I wish I'd be 66 in
Oh,
5 years.
you'll be close to 70.
I'd be 69 in 5 years. By the way, did I ever tell you 69 is my favorite number? Anyway, I think on that note, I think we better think about getting out of here because I got things to do.
We're not supposed to talk about 69 on this channel.
You don't have to. We don't have to belabor it any, Danny. You don't have to belabor. So anyway, once more before I go, please make sure if you're not subscribed to this channel, I'm trying to give me some help. I'm trying to get up to higher in the subscribers for my third channel. I got 3 channels, and please join this one here, especially, which is Mayo Loves Mondays. Why do I say Mayo Loves Monday? It's supposed to be Monday or Mondays. I think it's Monday. But anyway, because as a retiree, the week itself, the weekdays are much better. There's nobody around. And don't say it, Danny, okay? And if you do have anybody around, it's just enough to handle. It's like 5 or 6 people, retirees. You don't have it mobbed. You're not sitting. Anyway, I like weekdays better than chaotic, crowded weekends. I do rants. If anything that pisses me off, you people here on this channel, you've heard me do rants before. You've heard me complain about things. You've heard me bitch about life. Well, if you want to hear any of those funny videos that you can relate to, because we all have things that get under our skin, go over to Mayo Loves Mondays where the rant videos are. I still have some old rant videos here, but all the new ones will go there. And I'm also in the process of transporting some old ones from here to there. And don't forget the Joe and Danny show over there where this guy, the King of Chaos, and I meet every Wednesday morning, but we do it at 8 a.m. Eastern. So it's a weird time.
Remember one thing. It's hard to make money. It's very easy to spend money.
That's true.
When I need advice from you, I will ask for it.
Yeah, and I tell you this, remember, life's short. So enjoy the money while you have it and while you're young enough to enjoy life. But don't spend it all. Save some for a rainy day.
Joe's learning. I'm getting him trained.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Can Danny sing us out? Danny, can you sing us out?
God bless America, land that I love.
That's all you know?
Yeah, I don't know the rest of the fucking lyrics.